Today, we're diving into a really cool framework, 8 strategic lenses that can help you tackle one of the absolute toughest challenges for any startup, which is just figuring out where on earth to begin.
You know that feeling, right? You've got this great idea, but you're just staring at a blank canvas, and it can be totally paralyzing. There are a million different decisions to make about users, features, markets. It's a lot. So to help cut through all that noise, we're going to look at a simple but really powerful framework.
Think of this framework as a set of 8 different lenses you can look through to bring the whole product puzzle into focus. Each one is a different starting point. We're going to break them down into 3 groups. Lenses that start with the who, that's your customer. Lenses that start with the what, the problem you're solving. And lenses that start with the how, your unique secret sauce. And then we'll talk about how you can choose the right lens for you.
Okay, first up, let's talk about strategies that begin and end with the customer. These lenses force you to get laser-focused on a very specific person or a type of organization before you even think about writing a single line of code.
So our first lens is the persona. This one is all about asking a really simple question. Who specifically do I want to help? The whole strategy here is to pick a very niche human segment, let's say freelance podcast editors, and just tailor everything to their world. You use their language, you fit into their workflows, you understand their biggest headaches.
Now, when you're using the persona lens, the very first thing you have to prove is habit formation. This isn't about getting a bunch of likes or one-time signups. That's a common trap. It's about deep, meaningful engagement. So the key signal isn't some vanity metric. It's a high ratio of daily to weekly active users. That tells you your product has become an essential part of their routine.
Okay, so let's check out our next lens, the company type. You can think of this one as the B2B cousin of the persona lens. Instead of focusing on a single person, you're asking, which organization am I serving? The goal here is to solve those nitty-gritty, industry-specific problems for, say, small law firms or maybe mid-sized construction companies.
And when you switch to this lens, the focus shifts completely. We're not talking about daily habits anymore. You need to prove a measurable return on investment, or ROI. Does your product actually make or save the company cold hard cash? That's why you're tracking things like annual contract value and net retention. And the big pitfall here, trying to over-customize for every single client, because then you never build a scalable product, just a bunch of one-offs.
All right, let's switch gears. This next set of lenses doesn't start with a person or a company. It starts with an action, or even better, a really annoying pain point. This is all about focusing on the what.
This is the problem solver lens, and it's about as direct as it gets. You just ask, what pain am I fixing? The idea is to find a clear, nagging, and super painful problem, something like trying to coordinate schedules with 10 different people, and then you design the simplest, most elegant fix you can imagine.
With this lens, the name of the game is speed to relief. How fast can you turn someone's pain into a sign-up and, ideally, a paying customer? The conversion rates here tell you everything. But the big risk is that a simple, elegant solution is often really easy for someone else to copy. So you have to move fast to build a moat around your product.
Now this next one, the use case lens, is a really subtle but powerful variation. It's built on this idea of jobs to be done. So instead of a pain, you're focused on a job, a specific workflow people are trying to get done, like collaborating on a video edit or generating a quarterly financial report. It's about the task, not the person.
So, what's the difference here? Well, while the problem solver lens attacks a pain, this jobs to be done lens improves a process. Success is all about time to value. How much faster or better can you make their workflow? The really common failure here is picking a job that people only do once a year. It's really hard to get someone to pay for a tool they barely use.
All right, we're on to our final category. For these last few lenses, we're looking at strategies that start with a unique advantage you have. Maybe a new technology, a special capability, or a different way of looking at the market. This is all about the how.
Okay, the category disruptor lens is a bold one, for sure. The question here isn't what product am I building, it's what category am I going to redefine. This is all about changing the entire market's language and expectations. You're not just trying to build a better mousetrap, you're trying to convince everyone they need a rodent logistics platform instead.
Success with this lens looks really different. It's not about sign-up rates at first, it's about share of voice. Are people, especially the press, talking about this new category you've invented? You have to prove the idea is catching on, not just your product. It's a long, tough road, and the biggest risk is simple. The market just might not be ready for your big vision.
Let's get a bit more concrete with the new technology lens. The question here is, what new tech can unlock totally new behaviors? This strategy is all about building on some kind of foundational leap, like a new AI model or a groundbreaking new material that lets people do things that were literally impossible, or at least wildly impractical before.
The core challenge here is that the tech can't just be cool. It has to be demonstrably, jaw-droppingly better. You prove this with a killer demo. It's absolutely a high-risk, high-reward play, and the biggest danger is that you have this incredible research that you just can't turn into a reliable, scalable product that people can actually use.
Now, closely related is the new ability lens. But instead of focusing on the raw technology itself, this lens asks, what new capability is now possible? It's all about applying tech to create a massive productivity multiplier. You're trying to fundamentally change how someone does their job by making them faster, smarter, or way more creative.
So the key signal isn't just, wow, cool tech, it's measurable productivity gains. Can you actually prove that your users save 10 hours a week or that their output quality jumps by 50%? The common failure here is having inconsistent or untrustworthy output. If the user can't rely on it, it actually breaks their workflow instead of making it better.
And our final lens is the reverse engineer. This is the most complex, systems-level approach of them all. You start with a massive aspirational goal, something huge like achieve fully sustainable urban transport, and then you work backwards from there, designing the entire business, the product, even the policy changes needed to make it happen.
Yeah, this is the lens for tackling those huge capital-intensive problems. You have to prove the entire system can work, usually with a credible pilot program that shows the outcome is actually possible with sound unit economics. And the risks? They're enormous. We're talking massive capital costs and super long timelines.
Okay, we've just made it through all 8 lenses. So how do you put this all together? Well, the goal is definitely not to use all of them at once. That would be chaos. The goal is to make a conscious, deliberate choice about your starting point. Ultimately, when you step back, you can see that these lenses really boil down to 2 major approaches. On one side, you've got a user-led strategy. This starts with human needs, right? Think of the persona, the problem solver, and the jobs to be done lenses. And on the other side, you have a capability-led strategy, which starts with what's now possible. That's your new tech or new ability lenses. Just knowing which camp your idea falls into is a huge step toward clarity.
So this whole framework really leaves us with one critical question to ask ourselves when we're staring at that intimidating blank canvas. What's your starting point? Is it the person you're dying to help, the problem you're obsessed with solving, or the incredible new possibility you want to unlock for the world?